Hello, my name is Faisal Akbar and by profession I am a chartered accountant. Welcome to the series of training sessions where we will discuss the different aspects of product costing in practical perspective. You can always find me at FaisalFCA1967 at gmail.com and my YouTube channel is FaisalFCA1. Please subscribe the channel for various training programs that will be uploaded soon. During these training sessions, we will review the types of costs, elements of product costs, and finally basis of department-wise product costing using cost allocation method. So, uh, in 1995, when I qualified, I joined a textile group where I worked for 8 years. During these 8 years, I was head of business planning and costing, and I will be sharing with you my practical experiences related to costing. So, what is cost? In accounting, cost is defined as a cash amount or cash equivalent spent for obtaining an asset. When we buy a land, all associated costs, including duties, commissions, etc., become part of cost of land. Similarly, if we go on a trip, cost of fuel, vehicle maintenance, food, etc., are the cost of travel. Keeping in mind the scope of our training objective, that is product costing, it can be termed as money spent to buy or produce inventory for the purpose of sales. Cost involved in production. Costs refer to the expenses incurred in the process of making available the items for sale. In other words, we can say the expenses incurred in relation to procurement and production. Applying prudent approach and a proper balance helps in controlling the costs. It is management's responsibility to apply proper internal controls to better manage the costs. The costs are lifeblood of any business organization. This is my tagline of today's lecture. When we say that costs are lifeblood of any business organization, it sounds somewhat surprising. Yes, because spending on right product or making right decision to make or buy helps in raising profit. Similarly, sometimes buying a quality material at high price bears better results than low price cheap quality material. If you know what is beneficial, how much to spend or when to spend, what is your limit, then there is no problem. The business grows even with spending more. Apart from costs mentioned in books, we will discuss the costs that are involved in production and impact on business in practical perspectives as discussed earlier. In this video, we will focus on practical issues related to costs and impact on pricing. Costs are like horse. You tame them and enjoy the ride, or you fall. This is my quotation based on my experience. So now come up to two major questions. Why costing is important and is product costing used in accounting also? So the reply to the first question is, costing is a process that evaluates the impact of each and every cost incurred in the business and identifies the cost relevant to production or valuation of goods. The main objective of implementing costing system by the management is to develop controls over costs as well as to decide which costs are actually contributing to the profit making aspect and which are not. So it is very important. Then, is product costing used in financial accounting? Yes, it is used. One of the major item of assets in the financial accounts is its inventory. Product costing is required to assign value to the work in process and finished goods inventory. So yes, it is very important. Then we come to the advantages of product costing. First advantage is its accuracy. Accuracy refers to how effectively the business can trace its business expenses through product costs and to assign correct inventory values. The relation of costs assigned to the products as against expenses accounted for in the accounts bears a major impact on overall profitability of the company. The more accurate the valuation, the actual the results. Then second advantage is decision making. Product costing is a tool for decision making which, if properly managed, leads to increase in profits. In order to improve the business process, different options are applied to use costs or rather spendings effectively for cost saving as well as enhancing profits. So decision making about different aspects we will discuss about outsourcing a process. Where a process has capacity bottleneck, meaning where the production capacity is less than required production, or has very high cost, the management may decide to outsource our process. This is possible only if product costing is being done properly. Raw material procurement. With proper implementation of product costing, the management can calculate properly the raw material requirement. Discontinuing production of a specific product. In case a company is producing multiple products, the management is in a better position to discontinue a product for the time being and utilize machinery capacity for more profit-making product. In the textile company where I work, a committee consisting of director operations, executive director, and costing head was scheduled at least every week, where it was decided which count of yarn should be given priority for production during next week. Then the third advantage is product research and development. When a company is planning to design a new line of products or to recreate an old product with new features, product costing can be an invaluable resource. Costing allows the business to attach the specific cost not only to products but to the product materials, features and abilities that allow for highly accurate manufacturing cost predictions. So we come to know that product costing is very important feature for our business decision making, especially with reference to the profitability. So we come to an example. A furniture company produces 100 tables. The cost is wood rupees 40,000, nails and accessories rupees 4,000, carpenter wages rupees 10,000, polish cost rupees 12,000. Total is 66,000. So the company adds 15% as operating expenses, 9,900. Total cost is 75,900. Which is for 100 tables. So cost of one table is 7,590. Pardon. Add profit, say 20%, rupees 1520. Sale price per unit is 9,110 rupees. The company may sell it at rupees 9,500. It can even give some discount in this case. So you see, the product costing is very important in decision making, especially with reference to defining the sale price. Categories of cost. In order to understand the costs, I have divided the cost into two main categories, namely production. These costs affect the product's production directly or indirectly, and operating. These costs consist of administrative and financial costs and sales promotion expenses and other related expenses. If we close down the production, most of the cost will become nil in case of production, while the operating expenses may remain the same because they are related to administrations and sales. They are not affected by production. Production cost increases or decreases in relation to production. Operating cost remains the same with increase or decrease in production. Now we move on to the costs relevant to production. For the time being, we will not discuss the operating costs. Cost and discussion includes procurement and acquisition costs, direct production costs, which may include direct labor cost, then utilities cost, then these may also include ancillary services affecting production, such as dyeing in case of textile, or in case of home appliances, we may be arranging some part from local market that will also be included here, or we get some services which are outsourced. So these are all included in the direct production costs. Indirect production costs and support costs include factory overhead costs and administrative cost of the premises. Any other costs related to production? Now we move on to the types of cost nature-wise. Nature-wise, there are three types of costs: variable costs, fixed cost, and semi-variable costs. Variable costs. These costs are directly proportional to the production. They increase or decrease in according to the increase or decrease in production. Fixed costs. These costs are time-based and provide support in production. These remain fixed with increase or decrease in production. Semi-variable costs. Semi-variable costs have many definitions. Semi-variable costs have some features of both variable and fixed costs. Therefore, electricity bill can be termed as semi-variable because it has some portion of variable and some portion of fixed costs. Semi-variable costs are fixed for certain level of production. When we discuss the production side, semi-variable costs are fixed for certain level of production, then they increase once the level is achieved. For instance, in textile spinning unit, yarn dyeing is a process which is optional. Dyeing process is based on batch production. Cost per batch remains the same even if lesser than maximum batch size is dyed. With increase in production, the number of batches increases and variable elements become prominent. This is a chart showing the relationship amongst the costs. You see variable cost and fixed cost at further ends of the chart, and semi-variable is in the middle, with variable and fixed cost circles overlapping the semi-variable cost circle. This is because semi-variable has the elements of variable cost and fixed costs within it. Examples: procurement cost, direct labor cost, utilities, power, etc. are variable costs. Department-wise utility costs, support staff salaries, store spares, supply chain and logistic cost, and other such costs are fixed costs. Semi-variable: maintenance costs related to machine hours, sewage gas water used for batch production, and other related costs. So how we calculate these costs? Variable costs are the most easiest because this is calculated by dividing cost with units produced. In case of fixed cost, we have to go to history because with increase or decrease in production, the cost is not changing, and so we calculate either the percentage average based on previous history, or we can use per unit cost based on average production. We will discuss it in example in detail. Semi-variable. This is somewhat tricky. In case of batch size, batch production, determine batch size, cost charged to batch, and average per unit rate is calculated per batch. So our process is easy. We determine the costs and segregate into variable, fixed, and semi-variable. We calculate our production, and then we can calculate our per unit cost. We start with the examples of what we have discussed till now. You can see on screen variable cost example. This is pretty simple. We have raw material total cost rupees 1000 with units produced 20 units. Our per unit cost is rupees 50. Power total cost is rupees 200. 20 units produced, per unit cost is rupees 10 per unit. Labor 100 rupees total, 20 units produced, and our per unit cost is rupees 5. For fixed cost, we have used data of 2 years. So in year 1, our production is 15 units, total cost is rupees 270, and per unit cost is rupees 18 per unit. In year 2, we produced less, 10 units total, while our cost almost remained the same, rupees 280, and our per unit cost was rupees 28 per unit. So in order to reach the average, we have taken total of production, that is 25 units produced in 2 years, against total cost of rupees 550 spent in 2 years. So our per unit rate is rupees 20. In order to verify the fixed cost impact on our product costing, the following formula is developed. Contribution profit per unit, which is calculated by subtracting variable cost per unit from selling price per unit. We come up with 15 rupees per unit. Projected production 20 units. So our fixed cost is projected production multiplied by contribution profit per unit, that is rupees 300. This is a threshold against which we will check our fixed cost actual. If the actual fixed cost increases against rupees 300, it means that our contribution profit per unit needs to be revisited and product costing needs to be rechecked. Semi-variable cost. In this example, we have taken dyeing process as an example. Batch cost is rupees 20 and 2 batches are produced. So cost per batch is rupees 10 per unit, or rather cost per batch. We have produced 20 units and total batches are 10 because 2 units per batch. Our cost will be rupees 10, that is cost per batch, multiplied by 10 batches, that is rupees 100. We will divide it by total production of 20 units, and that comes to our cost per unit, which is rupees 5 per unit. Want big impact? Also work on alternative. Hilo method. This is very effective method to calculate the variable impact in the total cost of the semi-variable category cost. Here we use the formula that total cost at highest production level is taken, total cost at lowest production level is taken, and then the difference gives the incremental value, which is variable cost. The maximum the data, the better the result. As an example, we have taken the data 5 months, where you can see the cost in row 1, rupees 25,000 for month 1, then month 2, rupees 25,500, then month 3, 27,000, month 4, 29,000, and month 5, 28,000. Production per unit, production units are 100 units month 1, month 2 120 units, month 3 140 units, month 4 170 units, and month 5 150 units. So month 1 is lowest and month 4 is the highest in terms of production. So the variable element is rupees 4,000, that is rupees 29,000 minus rupees 25,000. This is all for the time being. Next we will be discussing the our cost elements in detail in our next videos. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can find me at faisalfca1967@gmail.com.